Today I'm asking my dumb questions to Stefania Marzelia, the barista turned solopreneur behind the coffee brand Sips. You were a barista, and I need to know what is the single most unhinged, wacky, ideally pumpkin spiced coffee order that you have ever seen in your life?
Oh my goodness, how much time do you have? I just remember like there were so many times a sticker would be this long of just all their modifications and everything. And most of it was sugar. So at that point, we had a running joke and behind the bar of like, are you sure you don't want to just like go down the street and get a milkshake from somewhere? Like,
My regular order at a coffee shop is, can you guess it?
ooh, Are you like, do you like a latte or are you like something a little bit more like drip coffee Americano?
Oh, I don't want to. I'm going to burst the whole bubble. I drink water. I order a bottle of
Oh,
water,
no.
maybe a hot chocolate, but I don't drink
Okay.
coffee. I do not drink coffee. I'm a coffee virgin.
Oh my gosh, we have to change that.
We can change it today because I heard that you might try to convert me with
I'm
that.
going to, with all my might, I'm going to
Okay,
convert you to a
let's
coffee
see.
drinker.
So I've come prepared to do a coffee testing, and my team has brought me. This is how you do it, right? A wine glass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Why
Okay, great.
not?
It's hot. Oh wow. Should coffee be sipped or chugged? I know your company's called Sip, but
That is actually the entire reason my company is called Sips because I'm a sipper. When it comes to coffee, I sip it. So when it came time to launch Sips, I was like, I think I have a good name.
I want to ask you because I'm not yet tasting this. How do you
Beautiful.
know if coffee is good coffee?
So it's usually just by the flavor profile. So if you sip on a coffee or espresso and it's leaning a little bit bitter or if it's leaning a little bit sour, like if it has that off taste to it, then you know it was not brewed correctly. But if it's nice and smooth, you don't get this like bitter aftertaste, then you know you have a good cup of coffee.
And I have a really dumb question. How does a bean become a coffee? This is like a how does a bill become a law question?
I
Like
love it.
what happens?
Yeah, so once the bean is roasted and it's packed, then, it's shipped to the shop, it's shipped to your home, you're picking it up at the grocery store, and from there, it's really the method. So, when you're brewing espresso, that's a
Hmm.
very different method of brewing than brewing a drip coffee. But really, it's just the brewing method.
So
So,
a drip is a way to brew.
yeah, so drip coffee is like your standard cup of coffee, and that's made by grinding up the beans in a
Yeah.
certain way. And then there's a couple different methods.
Beans always have to be ground before they can be mixed with water to make coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the grind size is what actually determines what you're brewing. So like when you're grinding up beans for espresso, you want it to be more on the fine side. But if you were to go and let's say you're brewing cold brew or you're brewing in a French press, you would want your grind to be a little bit more coarse.
Why are there 50 ways to combine roasted beans and water? As a non-coffee drinker, it's extremely
Yeah.
confusing. I am going to try this coffee. Do you think it's like brewing more because I'm letting it sit, or no, that's not what you're saying?
No, I think you're golden. Please sip away. I'll
Sip
I'll
it.
sip with you. I have a latte right here
Sip
too.
it, sip.
Cheers.
And we're having your brand of Sips Coffee here.
Yes, yes, you are. You are one of the first people to try a new product line for Sips. And that product line is premium instant coffee. So you have a sample of that right there that you're about to sip on.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I can compare it to nothing, but it tastes like what I think coffee should taste like. It tastes good.
Yes.
So,
Actually, funny enough, you are my ideal customer, which we can definitely
you're
get
trying to
into
convert
that.
coffee virgins into drinkers? That's your business?
Yes, a lot. You know what's so funny is that, we launched at the end of 2024. And
Hmm.
when we first launched, I thought my customer was me. So I thought it was the person who's had a lot of coffee experience. Maybe they were a barista. That's actually not my customer. My customer is the person at home who maybe doesn't drink a whole lot of
Yeah.
coffee, just very simple coffee drinkers, but they still want that elevated, fun experience without all of the steps involved.
You went from having a corporate job to starting your own business. Talk about that journey and like why did you leave the corporate world?
Yeah, so starting in 2016, being a barista was my very first job. So a month after I turned 16, I was already behind the counter in an apron. And by that point, I had really like my grandpa is a huge coffee drinker. I sipped coffee with him, but I didn't really know much about coffee. So from 2016 up until I graduated college, that was what I knew. I was a barista, I was behind the counter. Coffee was a huge part of my world, my life. And then I got a corporate consulting position. And, it was really funny. About a month or so after I started, I was having a one-on-one with my manager at the time. And he said to me that usually people realize whether they still want to be a consultant by around like the 8, 9 month mark. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, Oh, buddy, I already determined that like day two, that this is not going to be a long-term thing for me. Obviously, didn't say that, but
Because you liked
uh,
baristaing more?
I did. Yeah, I
Mm.
think that was the biggest thing for me. It was I spent so many years behind the counter getting to talk with people, serve people, give them an exceptional experience.
But now you work by yourself.
I
Does
do,
that
but you know
feel
what?
lonely to you ever being a solopreneur?
In ways, it definitely has its moments, but because of what I do and the nature of what I do and coffee just being such a huge connection point,
Yeah.
I'm constantly doing events, pop-ups, collaborations, partnerships where I am still getting a lot of face-to-face time with my customer.
Do you use a lot of technology on your new venture at Sips? Are you mostly like in the
I do.
field? You do?
I'm in the field, but I also do utilize technology, especially now, to connect with our customers, to streamline things. This year in 2026, really, I put an emphasis on creating systems and building systems,
Hmm.
just to make my life a little bit easier, but to also give the customer a little bit of a better experience.
Yeah. And can I ask, how much money are you making as a solopreneur?
Every dollar we have made thus far has been completely organic. We haven't put a single dollar into any paid advertisements, paid partnerships, nothing.
Hmm.
So last year we came in just around 200,000 in revenue, which was amazing. It
Yeah.
obviously proved the fact that there's a lot of interest in SIPs and people are really liking what we're doing.
Do you think these days you can have your own business, your own product business that's sustainable without having a social media profile?
It's tough. I feel that fortunately, unfortunately for some, being a business owner in 2026 is synonymous with being a content creator because if you're not putting yourself out there, who is?
Mm.
I know a lot of people, they don't want to hear that. They obviously just want to be like, I want to be a business owner. I want to stay in my own lane. I don't want to do the whole social
Yeah.
media thing, but I think you kind of have to.
If you want to be a business owner, it's very hard to stay in your own lane. I want to end
Yeah.
with a lightning round of what does my coffee
Like,
order say about me? Oat milk cortado, no sweetener.
you like coffee, you like a nice smooth espresso beverage.
A six pump caramel macchiato.
Six pump caramel. At that point, my friend, I think you should just go down the street and find a milkshake for yourself.
Okay. Um, drip black coffee.
You are probably just like a regular person that just wants a good cup of coffee. They're looking at it as energy more than they're looking at it as, a ritual. You gotta love it.
What if I'm like a very large man and I order a small espresso?
You know what? That's always a great sight to see. I have had many experiences where people come in and they'll order like 6 shots of espresso and they'll just take it right there, right to the dome. And I'm just staring at them like, gosh, I don't know how you do that. I have 2 shots of espresso straight and I'm like jittery the rest
They're
of the
going to a
day.
club. They're definitely going to a
They
club.
are. They've got something going on.
Last lightning question. How do you guys put those hearts in the coffee orders? Because the only thing that makes me want to really drink coffee is getting like a little heart or name inscription in my coffee order every morning. It's just a great way to start the day.
Yeah, no, we love
How
that.
do you guys do that?
Yeah, so that's just the beauty and the art of latte art. So when you are steaming
Yeah.
your latte milk or whatever beverage you're making, there's a special way to aerate the milk. So you want a little more air in your milk to give it that nice frothy, foamy texture. And then when you're going to pour it into your latte or your beverage, you have to do this like swirling motion. You have to like tilt the cup up at the right time, and then it's all on the wrist. You have to, do
Okay.
a little something. There's different
Like you're a
ways to do it, but
painter of foam.
absolutely.
By the way, I like to guess how tall everyone is when I meet them on Zoom. I'm going to guess you
Please.
are 5'9".
Oh, I'm 5'8".
Okay, good. Want to guess for me?
I mean 5'5".
5'6", probably 5.5.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm
See,
going to take
we're
5'6".
both just an inch off.
All right. So nice to meet you, Stefania.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Cheers.